What's up, guys? This is Chris, Music City Driver. Wanted to do a quick video, a quick live stream, because I never got back on here to tell you guys the results of the match tip day for me for Uber. So the first match tip day that they did back in, I guess it was July, last month, I guess. I only ended up with like $2 in tips, which matched to $4. This last tip day, which was Tuesday, which is, as everyone knows and everybody's been talking about, like the slowest day of the week for Uber. It may be only matched by Monday, probably. So the tip day Tuesday, I actually ended up getting a total. I had to wait for it to settle because I think they had 24 hours to do so from the time they took the ride, and I never received any more that I can see. So I only got $5 in tips that day, which meant $10. So not really spectacular or anything. So wanted to share that. I also wanted to share the fact that Uber is apparently on this coming up Tuesday. Excuse me, got the hiccups for a second. So this coming up Tuesday, they're actually going to do another 180 days of change release, it looks like, because I got a thing for an RSVP to an event where they're going to provide small bites and refreshments, whatever that really means. But you're supposed to RSVP to it, but it was during the day. I couldn't RSVP to it because I have a day job, so it's not possible for me to go. But I'm pretty sure that the leak on what the next installment of 180 days is going to, it'll probably be leaked not long after, or maybe even right before the meeting that they're supposed to release this for. Something that I'm kind of confused about, and I haven't seen go live yet, and I don't even know if it is live, is, they were adding, it was supposed to happen in August. We're getting closer to the end of August. We're a little bit halfway through the month. We're at August 18th. But I know that the $15 fee for lost items, returning a lost item like a cell phone or whatever, it was supposed to be implemented at some point in August, and here it is, August 18th, and I have not heard anything about it. So I don't know when exactly, what date they're going to roll that out. So kind of curious about that. But anyway, that's probably about what I had. One thing I did notice on the Lyft driver app recently updated, and there were some weekly guarantees this week that I was offered, and I opted into them just because, hey, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. I'm going to try to keep my acceptance rate above 90% to try to take advantage of them. The best bonuses, or not bonuses, but guarantees are actually happening this weekend. So there's a guarantee last night for $18 an hour that was from 10 to 11 p.m. Last night, people were saying it was really, really busy, but it was kind of dead for me, honestly. I didn't make as much as I wanted to. I was only out for about 5 or 6 hours. I made a little bit over $100, which is not horrible, but I'm used to getting a lot more than that. So it may be because I didn't separate out XL and Select. So I got quite a few little X rides, VIP rides and stuff like that. I got like a Plus ride that canceled on me, even though I was like 1 minute away from where they were. And then I had an XL, I think, canceled on me as well. And then I had a lady that's probably a brand new user. It was a 5-star Uber rider that was getting a Select. Not a Select, it was an X, but it was surged. It was like a 1.9 surge after the concert. Nashville has this concert series that goes on in August. So every Thursday in August, except for the first one, and it goes through Labor Day weekend, they have this Live on the Green, which is a free concert series in downtown Nashville. So that was pretty heavily attended. It started to rain towards the end of it. So cute. Jeez. So that kind of dampened it a little bit, I think. But the surge that I had, the lady was at a totally different location from where she said she was, and I think she was a new user and didn't know how to adjust her destination, or not her destination, where her location was. And I didn't really feel like having to go find her and everything. So I hit the 5-minute mark and I canceled it because she didn't answer me back until exactly almost 5 minutes later, because I was sitting there at where the pin was dropped, and she was nowhere to be found. So I tried to text and didn't get a response, and then the clock was ticking away and there was like 20 seconds left and she responded, and I just let the 20 seconds elapse and I just went ahead and canceled and collected my cancellation fee. So pretty good, Adam. How about you? It's my wife on there, by the way, that said I was so cute. But anyway, so how about you, Adam? What part of town or what part of the country are you from, Adam? I'm just curious. So Nashville is going to be crazy this weekend. Had a kid today, not a baby, but we kind of took over someone. Basically took in a grown child. Grown, not completely grown, but anyway. Nashville's going to be crazy this weekend, I think, because there is the eclipse. So I think there's some more concerts this weekend too. The Opry's going to have a couple of shows, but the main attraction of this weekend, I believe, there's a lot of people already in town. And more people coming into town for the eclipse, because this is one of the places that you can see the totality. They're estimating 200,000 people are going to be coming into town. They're estimating another 1 or 2 million, I can't remember, are going to be driving through or around Nashville, I guess. So this is going to be a gigantic weekend, I'm hoping. Another thing I'm hoping doesn't happen is, number one, there's not a huge influx of drivers from Memphis and Knoxville, and I don't know if the eclipse goes through Chattanooga or not, but if so, there might be a bunch of drivers from Chattanooga here too. That kind of dampens things a little bit, but it could be that there's so many people in town that you're not even able to drive. You're not going to be able to drive anywhere. The traffic is going to be so horrible. So we'll have to see what happens there. I'm hoping, trying to be, optimistic about the earnings this weekend. So I'm hoping that today and tomorrow evenings will be good. So it's actually not too bad today. It's 90-something degrees, or high 80s. Yep, absolutely. That's what happened here in Nashville too, is it was so oversaturated that there just weren't many rides. So I didn't make a whole lot of money. That I actually made decent that night, actually. I don't know if anybody is familiar with Nashville, but there is a strip club called Deja Vu, right? So Deja Vu will give Uber and or Lyft drivers cash, basically, for taking them there. You get like $12 a head for that. So that night, Tuesday night, I actually took a couple of guys from downtown down to that strip club, and I finally, so that was kind of, not sure if I was going to do it or not, but I decided to go ahead and give it a try, and lo and behold, I went in, all I did was give them my driver's license. They input my information. They asked if I'd ever been there before, and I said no, and so they input my information, and I got $24 just for bringing them in, cash. So, pretty awesome. I just can't wait till I get an XL or a Plus ride with 6 people in it. That would be quite substantial. If I could get $72 for just for dropping some people off at a strip club, I'll take that any day of the week. Totally awesome. So, but yeah, the saturation of drivers, I didn't make much on tips that night. I didn't make much on fares that night, just because there were so many drivers in town. It seems like there's been a lot of new drivers recently, which is kind of weird, because the referral fee here in Nashville is only like $50 now, so it doesn't seem like there will be that much of a uptick in drivers unless they're just signing up ahead of time for the eclipse. But I don't know how people would gauge that, because it usually takes at least a week and a half, sometimes 2 weeks to get approved. So I don't know how they're actually signing up in advance for the eclipse if they don't know how long it'll take for them to get approved. But there's a bunch of drivers that are just like, I don't know, I'm assuming they're new because they're stopping in the middle of the... Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I can't remember, there's like 3 main strip clubs in town, and they all pay some sort of forget what there's a term for it. Spiff, I think, or something like that. But they basically, it's a fee that they pay for referrals. Even though, I mean, what's so funny is these guys didn't actually ask, like, hey, is there a good strip club? They actually had the destination already input, so I didn't have to like refer them specifically, which is kind of interesting. So it's not like I said, hey, there's 3 clubs in town and Deja Vu is the best one. So it's not like they wouldn't have been going to Deja Vu if I hadn't picked them up, which is kind of interesting. So it's kind of interesting that they do it like that. When I could totally understand if you were like promoting them specifically, but hey, I'll take advantage of it. Like I said, I just want at least 4 to 6 riders would be great, man. I could do that all night long. I just wish I could the bachelor parties that come into town to follow the bachelorette parties, that could be quite lucrative. There's a ton of bachelorette parties that usually start coming in Thursday nights, and I did see some out last night, but I think the rain kind of dampened things down, to coin a phrase. I think it made things a little bit less busy downtown than it would have been. So anyway, yeah, the driver saturation thing is real. Nashville is so busy that, like I said, drivers are coming from all over the place to drive here, and it's kind of really making a lot of people mad. A lot of native drivers here are getting upset because people are coming in from out of town and they're like basically suppressing surges because there's so many people driving. So, which honestly, I don't usually rely on surges because they're so not regular, you know what I mean? So you can't depend on surges to make your night. You can't chase surges to make your night. So you just have to, and like Adam said, sorry, I just saw your comment. There we go. So you're trying to switch your hours so it doesn't affect your goals in the week. 7p to 7a is working. Yeah, I mean, I usually drive similar hours. I usually don't try to go till 7 in the morning just because by that time it's mostly airport runs. I live on the west side of town, and the airport in Nashville is on the east side of town. So it's like I'm driving towards the west and then I get pinged to go back, which can be good money, but that time of day, traffic is not bad either, so that's not too bad. But I usually try to get out a little bit earlier than 7, just so I can catch like the people getting off work. Rush hour is kind of a pain in the butt in Nashville, as most cities probably. But it's gotten worse and worse here, so I try to work a little bit earlier in the day. I'm actually kind of playing hooky, I guess, from work today, but my day job. But I figure I'll get out a little bit. Yep. Yeah, everybody comes from the small towns. See, there's several small towns, smaller markets here in Tennessee. Like Chattanooga is only an hour and a half away. Clarksville is about an hour away. They have their own, like they have Uber in Clarksville and Lyft, but they tend to come down here because there's just so many people coming into town all the time, and it's just a hot town to go to. But yeah, I don't know, to me, people coming in from out of town, they don't really know the area that well a lot of times. And that's not to say they can't learn it, but I find that I get a lot of riders complaining about people not knowing where they're going, stuff like that. So it's, like I said, I don't want to deny anybody working, but I just don't see how people can justify making money driving 2 or 3 hours away. Oh, really? What's the rate there in Columbus? Or Cleveland, sorry. I thought you said Columbus. Yeah, so Cleveland, you're actually pretty close to, relatively, right, to like New York and I guess Pittsburgh, maybe? Is that right? I don't even know. I'm failing on geography right now. I know Cleveland is on the east side of the state. Is that right? 83 cents a mile. So is that so 83 cents a mile? Is that right? Because actually Uber X here I think is only like 69 cents a mile or something like that. Um, After all the fees. So before is the 83 cents a mile, is that before the fees or is that after? Like, is that what shows up on your statements? Like when you look at your fare details or whatever, is that what shows up on there? Is it 83 cents a mile or is it lower than that? Because that's what I usually go by. We're at 69 cents, so you guys are probably maybe a little bit, because I know that the XL rates, or at least the plus rates, are like $1.30, I want to say, something like that, a mile, and 30 cents a minute or something like that, I want to say, for the Lyft Plus rides. It's a little bit lower. Actually, I found out recently, I didn't know this until I started looking at my pay stubs, that Select, okay, so 62 cents after the cuts. Okay, I got you. Yeah, so I think ours is around 69 cents after all the fees and cuts and stuff. So it's a little bit better here. But yeah, I don't know if I told you guys or not, but I got a really great bachelorette party that were actually somewhat local people, but it was a Lyft Plus ride, and it was a 350% prime time. It was freaking awesome. So I took them to McDonald's. They wanted to go to McDonald's, and I'm like, okay, it's on your dime. So I took them to McDonald's, and we sat in line for a long time. It was only a 2.4 mile ride, but it took over 30 minutes, and I was cha-chinging because the rate was like $1 a minute or something at that, like $1.05 a minute. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll take this. So by the time it was all said and done, it was a 2.4 mile trip. I think it took 33 minutes and 29 seconds or something like that. The fare itself was like $61. What my cut was, $61 and some change. In addition to that, they gave me a $14 cash tip, and they bought me a McDouble. So hey, that's like over $75 for 30 minutes of my time. I'll take those all night long. But they, I didn't think, I kind of felt bad that I didn't say, hey, you're on a 350% prime time. Do you really want to go to McDonald's? Because the line was kind of long, but I mean, they knew that the rate was 350% prime time. At least I'm hoping it told them that when they accepted the ride, or when they requested the ride. Honestly, I've never taken a Lyft before. I've taken Ubers before. I need to take a Lyft sometime just to see what it looks like. Exactly. Most of the time, I'm like, oh God, they want to go to Taco Bell. Because, if it's not surge or anything, you're just sitting there for like pennies every minute. But I was like, hell yeah, 350% prime time, cha-ching. And like I said, $1.05 a minute is what it ended up being. Because it's like 33 minutes, you're looking at over 30-something bucks just for sitting in line. Hell, I'll take that any day, all night long. But that's the best ride I've had in a long time. So I love getting surges on Plus or XL rides because that's some really big time. But I don't know if I ever finished my thought before. XL rates are actually lower than Select rates here in Nashville, which I found interesting. I thought they were the same for the longest time, but it looks like XL rides either went down or Select went up. Select rides, they only take 25% off usually too, whereas the XL is about 28%, but I've noticed the amount that they take out fluctuating. So, I don't know. I wouldn't say that, honestly. I may just not be in the right areas or something, but I get way more Uber rides than I do Lyft rides. I run both with Mystro. It really depends on what part of the city you're in, I think. East Nashville has a lot more Lyft. Now, Lyft is doing a lot more marketing. They're doing a marketing push here in Nashville. They got like these big banners down on Broadway, which is the main strip of honky tonks here in Nashville. So they're kind of promoting it more and giving like $5 off codes. Sorry, there's a bug up here on my dash. But so they're doing like promo codes and stuff like that for discounts off of rides and stuff. But I've been doing both almost the same amount of time. I've been driving for Uber since like January 30th or something like that, and Lyft took about a week or two longer. I'm almost to 500 rides on Lyft like 455, 460, something like that. And on Uber, I've taken like almost 1,400 or something crazy. So it's like a big difference there. So, so they're picking up speed in Cleveland. Yeah, they're trying to. I think they tried to capitalize on a lot of the missteps that Uber made. I think I hope they're doing pretty well with it. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, there's some people out there that are like Lyft loyalists, I guess you could say. There was a group that I was part of on Facebook, and I just couldn't take it anymore. They were kind of messed up in the head, in my opinion. They were so like dedicated to Lyft that it was like almost sickening in a way. They were just like, oh, Lyft is so much better. If you drive for Uber, you're blah, blah, blah. It's like Uber was an enemy or something. I don't see myself as doing that. It's kind of short-sighted in my opinion, because both companies are basically after the same thing. They are eventually going to replace drivers with self-driving cars. They are both trying to make money and keep the rates as low as they can to keep riders happy and pay drivers less. So until Lyft starts raising mileage rates, that I don't necessarily see them as better than Uber, even though they've had less bad PR, less bad press. And they have had the tipping option all along, which Uber followed them on, but they have followed Uber on rate cuts, which Uber has been the one to initiate the rate cuts first, so I can't blame Lyft necessarily for that, because they're just trying to compete. But at the end of the day, they're both companies that are trying to make money, and the source of their revenue is us. Yeah, I think Lyft does. It seems like Lyft does pay a little bit better, but they still have the same minimum fare pretty much. But it seems like I get less minimum fares with Lyft than I do with Uber. I don't know how that works, but it seems like I'm doing a lot of $3 rides when I do X, and I think that's part of the reason I actually kind of didn't make much money last night. Sorry, I'm moving over to see if I can find a shadier spot, because it's like really beating down. The sun's beating down on my dash and making it hot in my car. But I feel like they do have less little $3 ping you to death, mile you to death trips than Lyft does. Lyft seems to, I seem to at least get a little bit more than $3 on most Lyft trips. But then again, it's all random to me. It seems like, I mean, there's only so many things that you can do to try to maximize your profits. Because you can go to the same place every single night and not get the same results that you did the previous night, of course, because it's all determined by volume and stuff like that. Although I did get a bachelorette party who actually gave me really good tips and stuff like that. And they wanted to use me again, so they called me and I could ping them, when they got close. I know, which is technically probably against everything that they say on the Uber and Lyft, but that was actually a pretty good thing. So, the insurance protection. Yeah, they don't have that here in Tennessee yet. So yeah, they raised the rates slightly. I think it gave you a couple of cents raise or something as a result after you take the insurance out, right? But I don't blame you. It's actually a pretty good deal in case there's ever any kind of an accident or, God forbid, an attack or something like that on you by a passenger or something like that, where they basically would pay your wages. It's almost like disability, short-term or long-term disability, right? Saturday would actually mean something. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Francisco. Sorry. What do you mean Saturday would actually mean something? I'm sorry. I just don't understand what you mean there. As far as, are you talking about like, oh, I know what you're saying now. Sorry, it just took me a second to you're talking about if they put tipping matching. Yeah, exactly. So tip matching on a Saturday, yeah, exactly, it would. I mean, you got to think about this from a corporate perspective, I guess. So Uber doesn't want to pay out a whole bunch of matches when they can not pay out a whole bunch of matches. So they're looking at it from their bottom line, which, so some of your, so it's kind of like most disability then. They pay you like 70% or something like that. But yeah, Francisco, I do agree with you. I would love if Uber would do matching on a Saturday or even a Friday. Heck, even a Thursday. It could be Tip Thursday instead of Tip Tuesday. I think they were trying to do some alliteration there with Tip Tuesday, Tip Match Tuesday, for marketing reasons. But like I said, they're looking out for their bottom line, basically. They're just trying to make sure that they don't pay out. Oh, that's the max they pay is $500 if you get injured. That's kind of crappy. It's kind of not very good. $500 a week is actually a pretty bad week for me if I'm doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like lately, I've actually been doing I did my. Yeah, I saw that. And you know, I don't know, ethically I just can't agree with doing that. And you know, the thing is, Uber and Lyft both, they've got to have somebody looking at these YouTube videos. I don't think Uber and Lyft full time is worth it. No. Like as a sole job, no. I do this. I end up working sometimes 40 hours a week, but it's not because I'm trying to work full time. If I have like a specific goal in mind, a specific bill I need to pay or something like that, I'll work more hours just to do it more. But would I rely on this as a full time income? No. Exactly. But it's going back to what Francisco said about manipulating the match. That's something I don't really agree with ethically. I mean, because basically it's fraud. I mean, really. So, if they wanted to, Uber could, A, deactivate you, kick you off the platform because it's fraud. B, they could probably sue you. Because they're basically paying out a huge amount of match for a fraudulent purpose. So, I don't know. I don't... He did the wink and everything on it, but like I said, they've got to have people that monitor social media, and if they see that video, which they probably did because Uberman has so many subscribers, yeah, 14 hours to make 300 a day, exactly. So, I mean, it's pretty good money, honestly. It is good money. But when you subtract out all your... Yes, I agree. When you subtract out all your expenses, taxes, all that stuff, you're really not making that much at the end. You know, if you drive an SUV like me, tires are really expensive for an SUV. I know because I just bought some back at the first of the year. You know, it cost me, granted I got a lifetime alignment, and stuff like that, road hazard and all that stuff, but that was like almost $1,000 for 4 tires, you know? I mean, it's not cheap to drive like an SUV. Plus, the gas mileage is lower, so you're making, you know, you're paying a lot. You're buying more gas, using more gas. Exactly. No time to yourself either. Yeah, exactly. Unload heavy ass lumber. But yeah, I mean, yeah, actually doing manual labor is a lot harder than this, granted. But you've got, like I said, you've got maintenance, you've got wear and tear on your vehicle, you've got replacement and repair costs. If you have that, you've got gas, oil changes, air fresheners, all that stuff. Now, a lot of these things are tax deductible, granted, but you've also got to pay taxes because you're a 1099 employee. You're going to have to pay taxes at the end of the year, so you got to keep that in mind as well. So at the end, you're really not making that $800 to $1,000 to $1,200 a week, really. So you got to look at that as well. Yes, it's better than manual labor. Trust me, I used to sling boxes at a UPS part-time. I much prefer this. I make a lot more money, and I don't kill myself every night doing it either. So, yeah, I mean, the $750 is really good a week. I agree. I honestly just don't think it would be... And one of the main reasons I think it's not worth it to do full time is because it's extremely variable. So you can make $750 a week, 1 week after expenses, and you can make $500 the next week. It really depends on what's going on in your town. Now here in Nashville, it may be profitable to be a full time driver. I have seen some drivers doing only Lyft, making over $1,000 a week and stuff like that. So, oh no, that's fine. That's cool, man. Thank you for watching and enjoying it. I like these live chats. It gives me a chance to talk to people, like, you know, sort of one on one. Oh wow, over $1. So is that after Uber's cut or before Uber's cut? I'm just curious, because ours are actually, I think, over $1 a mile before. Yeah. I think ours is over $1. Honestly, I need to look at it, but I can't look at it in my phone screen while I'm doing the live stream. So I always forget the before rates because I try to think of it in terms of after cuts. But yeah, it's pretty decent here too as far as that goes. As far as the rates here, $1.15 a mile. Wow. So roughly, if you take 25% off of that, that's what, 11 and a half to 12, 22. So it's about 75 cents or something like that. Oh wow, $1.15. Okay, so yeah, 11.5 and 11.5 is 23 plus half of that, about 30 cents off. So it's about 80 something cents a mile. That's actually better than Nashville. So I think it's 0.6975 or something like that a mile here is what it ends up being after Uber takes their cut. And I can't remember the time. Time is usually not even worth counting because it's so low. So, but yeah, 30 cents a... Yeah, I think it may be worth it there. It could be worth it there. If you are even just doing X at 80 cents a mile, you're looking at... What is your minimum fare there? Like ours is like $3 here in Nashville is the minimum fare. So, for Uber X. So, I can't remember what the minimum, like 5. Wow. That's actually not bad at all. Yeah, 86. That's what I was thinking. I was just trying to do it in my head. I figured it was 80 something cents a mile after the 25. But that's actually pretty darn good. I mean, you got to look at that. That's like 17 cents higher than Nashville per mile. So we've got $3 trips left and right here. Man, I love doing XL. It's actually, I don't know, I really enjoy larger groups of people. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy the bachelorette parties. I really do. A lot of people can't stand them. A lot of drivers can't stand them. They just can't. They're just annoyed by them, and they don't think they. But everyone I've ever had, and there's been a couple here and there, but they're definitely in the minority of kind of rambunctious people that puke all over the place and stuff. It just doesn't happen to me a lot. You're like, shifting around. That's pretty funny, actually. I actually miss driving a stick shift. I enjoy driving. That's what I learned on. A lot of people can't even drive stick shifts nowadays. But yeah, I love XL. I love getting the bachelorette parties. They're just here to have a good time. They're here to have fun. They're just fun. So, what, the bachelorette parties get old? Or the stick shift? Yeah, stick shift can get old if you're in stop-and-go traffic. If you're in stop-and-go traffic, you're really old. Yeah, absolutely. Your right arm and your left leg are probably like Popeye. If you're driving in stop-and-go traffic all the time. You got like a giant left leg and a giant right arm, right? From... Funny who cheap riders play the game if they thought my Corolla was an Uber XL or not. But yeah, I know. And, recently so I'm on a couple of Facebook pages and here in Nashville, and somebody posted up this picture of like this, I think it was a Ford Focus, right? Drivers that have stick shifts, that's hilarious. But I saw this picture of a Ford Focus, and they were like, yes, 6 people got in this car. And I was like, dear God, 6 people in a Ford Focus? How in the hell did anybody even move? Was it like a clown car? So, 6 people in here. I've got 2 in the back, very back. I've got 3 in the middle here. And the middle seat is kind of small. And then 1 in the front seat. And that's really the maximum that's comfortable. But I can't imagine shoving five, six people into a small car like a Toyota Corolla or a Ford Focus or something like that. Good Lord. I wouldn't have. I'm not telling you what to do here, but I wouldn't have taken him. I would have said, look, you need to. And the bad part is, okay, so when people take, and I'm not trying to criticize you, Francisco, because people do this all the time, but people order an X because they're trying to save money, and then they shove five, six people into a car when they could get an XL. Sure, they have to pay a little bit more, but they get conditioned to that, and then they want to always request an X when they need an XL, just because they're cheap. And the bad part is that X drivers don't get paid anymore for that, so you can't write in and say, hey, I had too many people for my vehicle, because you won't get paid anymore. You won't get paid. They won't give you XL rates if you have an X car. They'll just say, hey, you need to stop taking people you need to stop taking more than 4 people, is what they'll say to you. I have even seen people get in the hatchback of a Ford Explorer before, because some Ford Explorers don't have third row seats, so they've just got enough capacity for like 4 people, and they would jump in the freaking hatchback. I'm like, seriously? Of course, that's when I stopped accepting that, and my reason is, yeah, absolutely, insurance purposes. If you have a wreck and your car has 4 seat belts and you have 6 people in there, you're going to be in big freaking trouble. You could get sued by them. So the minimum fare, sorry, I have to keep touching the screen because it disappears on me. Minimum fare is $6.20. Wow. So $6.20 minus 25%, that's $1.24, half of that. So $1.50 something. So it's like $4.50 or actually even higher than that. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good minimum fare. Minimum fare here is definitely $3, because I get $3 X rides all the time. That's why I don't want to take X rides. That's why I like Mystro so much, because you can just filter out those X rides. And sure, your acceptance rating goes in the tank, but they can't deactivate you for acceptance ratings. So I don't worry about my acceptance rating. Now, my cancellation rating got a little high recently, which kind of concerned me, because they can deactivate you for that. I was like, crap, I got to get that down. So, yes, I try to, as much as I can, I try to circle around the suburbs, bring people into downtown, and go right back out, bring them back into town, go back out. I don't like to circle around, because the traffic is so bad that it's so bad that you can't even get to where it's close enough to get wait time for your person, because the traffic is so freaking bad. Uber should match pool trips to be the same payout as Uber X. Yeah, we don't have pool here in Nashville yet, and I don't want it. We don't have Uber pool, and we don't have Lyft line in Nashville yet. It may be coming. It may not be coming. I don't know. I honestly think they should do Uber XL and Uber Select XL, which I guess technically would be kind of like Uber SUV, I guess. But Uber SUV pays a lot more than Select, trust me. I don't have Uber SUV. I don't have like a chauffeur's license and all that junk. But it seems to me like they should have an Uber Select and an Uber XL Select. So, I don't know. That's probably just my bias showing, because I drive a nicer SUV that qualifies as a Select here in Nashville. I don't know how it qualifies as a Select. I didn't ask to be on Select. They put me on Select. I don't know. But Select, I'd actually, if I could take Selects all night, I would, because most of the time it's like 2 people, and it pays better than XL. So why wouldn't I want to take that? So that's actually really helpful. But yeah, it's funny, when I first started, I was thinking, for some reason I thought Select and XL, I thought XL paid more or something. So I got like 6 people on a Select before, and I was like, yeah, I had more than 4 people, and they're like, yeah, Select is already more expensive, so you can't get more. And I was like, you know what, I didn't think about that. That makes sense. So they can have up to 6 people on a Select as well. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of pros to, I mean, if you live where Uberman lives in Oklahoma, I can't remember how much he said theirs are. Yeah, I can see how it would bother you. But I mean, yeah, you don't have a boss. You don't have to go clock in. You turn on your app, you're clocked in. You know what I mean? And you're still not really clocking in technically, because you're not getting paid till you get a ride. So, but yeah, I mean, you can't beat it in terms of flexibility. You can take a break whenever you want to. You can go eat whenever you want to. You can go chill at a bookstore, which is what I'm about to do for a little bit. You can go do all kinds of stuff. I mean, you're not tied to a location. You're not tied to a desk. You're not tied to a warehouse on a line sorting packages, or whatever you do, whatever other factory jobs and stuff like that do. This is far better for that, and I could see why it would irritate you. People say you can't make a full-time job of it. It's just, I mean, like I said, it all depends on your area, how much it's paying, stuff like that. That's the biggest thing, is how much are you getting per mile. That determines a lot of it. How many hours do you have to work to make it? You know what I mean? Myself, I'm supporting now 2 kids. The 16-year-old that just moved in with us, and my son, and my wife, and we got, animals and stuff like that, house payment, car payment, all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Working for yourself does definitely have benefits. I make better in my day job than I do Uber and Lyft, but Uber and Lyft for me is supplemental income, even though lately I've been treating it like a second full-time job almost, because of the number of hours I work. Because I work almost like a nurse, I guess you could say. I work like 3/12s, you know what I mean? Like 36 hours a week, roughly, something like that. But it's on the end of the week. It's Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I usually take Sundays off just because I need some family time. I need some not working time, and then I work Monday through Friday at my regular job. So on the days like Thursday and Friday, I generally work, I could work 20 hours that day, depending. I usually don't work that long on Thursdays, though. I actually don't even work. Thursdays, I generally work from like 5-something until about 11 or so, because I have to drive home, which is almost an hour drive for me. And then on Friday nights, I don't usually work until 5-something, and I usually don't stop until almost 3 in the morning, right around time when the bars let out. So that's a really long day. Friday's usually my really long day. I'm usually super exhausted. But luckily, overnight, I can kind of... Absolutely, man. I definitely will do that. Thank you so much for checking my video out, man. I really appreciate it. I like it when you guys come in and give me something to talk about. Because, like I said, I came on for the match tips, but then I always tend to go off on tangents and stuff like that. Maybe I should have a script. I never script any of my videos. I just kind of shoot them straight from the hip as they are. They may not be as polished as some people's videos. I don't do all that start-stop editing stuff. It really kind of annoys me. Anyway, I'm probably going to get off here myself, actually. What do you mean? What happened with the tips? The matching, you mean? Me talking about the tips, you mean? Yeah, I kind of got off on some tangents there, man. But yeah, the tips, $5 is all I made. $10 with the match. So it really wasn't worth it to me, really. I made better, like I was talking about earlier. I made more money dropping off 2 guys at a strip club than I did doing matching tips. Pretty funny. Yeah. So Tuesday night, I worked probably 5 to about 11 or 12, and I only got $5 in tips, so I only got $5 match. And I tried to do mostly Uber that night and not do much Lyft at all, just to try to maximize the amount. I did X, XL, and Select because I didn't want to exclude anything and lower my volume. I was trying to make as many rides as I could, and I got quite a few rides. I just only made $5 in tips and $5. No, that's not in Nashville yet, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, $5, $10. I mean, I was just telling them Striker X earlier. So there's some strip clubs here in Nashville. Deja Vu, Pure Gold, and I'll be darned if I can remember the third one right off the top of my head. Anyway, Deja Vu, if you go in there and tell them you just dropped the people off that you just dropped off, like basically park your car, go in with them. Absolutely, they do refuse to tip. So if you park your car with people that are going to the strip club, you can go in there. If you haven't been in there before, they ask for your driver's license. That's all they ask for. They scan your driver's license and put your information in the computer, and every person that you bring in there, you get $12 cash. So I got $24 for taking two guys from downtown Nashville to the new Deja Vu on Church Street. Kind of ironic, right? A strip club on Church Street. Anyway, so yeah, I made $14 more, even with Uber matching, from strip club than I did from doing Uber's matching tips. It's crazy. Yep, but they do refuse to tip. I don't know what the deal is. It's crazy. I make more. Hell, sometimes I make more in cash tips on Uber rides. I actually made $10 last night on a cash tip. Yeah, right. Church Street and strip clubs. It's pretty funny, but well, there's only one strip club, but still, it's pretty hilarious that they moved from Demunbrian Street, which is the weirdest street name ever. It's somebody's last name, and people never know how to pronounce it when they come here. They moved from Demunbrian, which is right by the interstate, over to Church, which is just hilarious. So anyway, that's the situation with the tips. It was more than the first tipping match day, but still not spectacular. The first one I got $2, $4 with the tip. This one I got $5, $10 with the match. So really pathetic, really. But I made pretty good money that night. The Church of Ass. Exactly. Like I'm going to church. I didn't say what church. It's pretty funny. I'm going to put this energy drink down here. Sorry, energy drinks. I end up living off of energy drinks most of the time. The zero carb ones, because I'm trying to lose weight, like I said in my other video. I'm trying to lose weight. I got to get back in the gym Saturday or Sunday, do some lifting, and to get this excess Uber weight off. Uber and Lyft weight. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go inside this bookstore, which is really awesome. You should go to it sometime if you ever visit Nashville. McKay's. Excuse me. They got books. They got music. They got albums, CDs, movies, games, everything. And it's like all used, so you can buy, sell, and trade stuff here. It's pretty awesome. I'm not doing a commercial for them, I swear. It's just, I love this place. I love coming here all the time. You can get really good deals on used books. It's pretty awesome. So you can get like a used brand new book that is in really good shape. Like even hardcover books for like $5-6. They're usually like $20 when they come out. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching my live stream. I know it was a bit rambling. Got off topic. So it's like I've been on here almost an hour now, so it's kind of crazy. Time flies. But thank you guys for bearing with me, and thank you Striker X for bearing with me. And I had to circle back around to tips again. I hope I do well tonight, and I hope everybody else does well as well. This weekend's going to be crazy, like I said, in Nashville because of the eclipse. So I'm hoping to make some money. But you guys, if you're out driving, be safe, be careful. Watch yourself, watch your surroundings, watch your passengers, because you never know, somebody's going to be a crazy person. So you guys be safe and have a good day. I will hope to see you guys again soon. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And you guys be safe and have a good day, a good weekend.